Beware.
The Dark Side of Hollywood, Part 9, The Comedian. I bring you our next subject, who has found himself on the dark side of Hollywood, a place I'm sure he never thought he'd be, but alas, here we are. The location is the Trocadero nightclub on Sunset, and the subject is comedian Ted Healy. As you can see, Mr. Healy is in fine spirits, supposedly celebrating the birth of his first child, a son, something his friends say he has always longed for. It is not all good times inside the nightclub, however, because the cause of Mr. Healy's death is also inside the lively club, and it's going to kill him tonight. He is a well-known alcoholic around Tinseltown, and he has been drinking tonight. But has he drank enough in his celebration to kill? Or perhaps it's the three gentlemen in the corner having a drink who later have a confrontation with Mr. Healy that will be the cause of his death. We shall find out a little later. Let's start at the beginning first, shall we? Born in Kaufman, Texas, birth name Charles Ernest Lee Nash. He changed his name to Ted Healy as he got into show business. He started his path to success and stardom in vaudeville, where he quickly became one of its top acts, becoming the highest paid performer with the Healy's Revue, which included his wife and German Shepherd, and at times his childhood friend, Moe Howard, from the Three Stooges, along with some of his brothers. The friends would go through some hardships, but eventually came together and created the early stages of the comedy act, the Three Stooges. After many successful stops across the country, Mr. Healy and his comedy troupe took their talents to Hollywood, where Mr. Healy received a contract with MGM. They appeared in several shorts for the company, but quickly found themselves in important supporting roles in the blockbuster film The Dancing Lady, featuring Clark Gable and Joan Crawford, with Mr. Healy getting quite the larger supporting role alongside Fred Astaire. Mr. Healy would go on and receive more major solo roles with MGM, and soon after, he would amicably split with the Three Stooges as they went to go work for another studio. He carved out quite a successful career for himself, from vaudeville comedian to appearing in many Hollywood pictures, and even having his services being loaned out to other film companies, working up until the night he died. Which brings us back to the nightclub and the night in question. Mr. Healy is in full celebration, but by the next day, he will be dead. His death was originally announced by an MGM spokesperson as a heart attack, but that was quickly questioned when there were signs of foul play on the body, featuring bruising and cuts. Then rumors came out that he was attacked, leaving the nightclub the previous night, by three individuals, and those individuals were popular actor at the time, Wallace Beery, movie producer Albert Broccoli, who would later achieve fame producing the James Bond series, and his cousin, agent and movie producer Pat DiCicco, known for his tumultuous marriages to actress Thelma Todd and socialite Gloria Vanderbilt. Police seemed to not be overly enthused in solving Mr. Healy's death, and there were no newspaper reports or documentation of the three said individuals attacking and beating Mr. Healy. That said, Mr. Broccoli admitted to having an altercation with Mr. Healy outside the nightclub, but claims Mr. Healy attacked him in a drunken rage and that they scuffled for a few, but eventually shook hands and parted ways. there are rumors of why the other two were not mentioned and why the police were not more concerned with solving the case. And that is because of the work of Hollywood fixers Eddie Maddox and Howard Strickling. You see, Wallace Beery was one of the highest paid actors in MGM and in all of Hollywood, and the two fixers did all they could to save him from this scandal. Mr. Beery returned from a supposed long vacation in Europe after the story died down. Officially, Mr. Healy's death was ruled acute toxic nephritis, which was only secondary to acute and chronic alcoholism. His alcoholism was blamed, but the conspiracy theories will always persist. No one will ever know exactly what truly transpired that night, except for those involved. All we know is a man who felt on top of the world, personally and career-wise, met a horrible demise. He might have had thoughts of importance, and that nothing bad could happen to him. But there's always someone more important, and they'll remind you of that when you live on the dark side of Hollywood. I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to the special friends of the channel for your overwhelming generosity. If you would like to support the channel, the link is below in the description. Also, please send me your stories and poems to duchessofdarkness27@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at duchess.ofdarkness and Twitter at duchessofdarkn2. I want to thank all my listeners for your kindness, your encouragement, and your support. It means the world to me. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.